evening. Welcome to Norm Macdonald Live, our third podcast. And I could not be more excited about this podcast until about 10 minutes ago, because our guest was going to be the great Robert Blake.
Yeah.
And I love Robert Blake, and I always have since I was a little kid, because I watched Beretta, which was my favorite show. And that's probably before your time, Adam Egget.
Yes, definitely.
My trusty sidekick, Adam Egget.
I want to know.
And you didn't know Robert Blake, probably.
No.
But in the 70s, they had these shows that were detective shows.
Right.
And but most of them were kind of corny. Like they had Frank Cannon, who was played by William Conrad.
Uh-huh.
And as a matter of fact, now that I think of it, most of the detectives back then had something wrong with them.
What was wrong with Cannon?
Huge, obese man. He was a fat man, and he'd chase down the criminals, and then he would karate chop them on the neck. That's how he ended up getting them. He knew how to karate. And at the end, it'd be him eating like a big dish of pasta with some lady. Anyways, and Longstreet was blind.
Jesus.
He was a detective, was blind, and he relied on his dog a lot. And a lot of times he'd go, there's a clue underneath this girl's, skirt. The dog knew where Longstreet wanted to go.
And they had luck solving the cases?
But I'm saying they were very corny kind of sick of.
Right.
But then Beretta, it was like Martin Scorsese had made
that
a
sounds
detective.
good.
He was a tortured guy. You know how now all the superheroes are conflicted?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. But I like this guy. He was conflicted, And anyways, and it had the greatest theme song. So I said, let's get Robert Blake.
Yeah, it would have been a great guess. He's engaging.
How exciting that going to be? And we got him on. I got him on the phone only for 5 seconds.
What happened?
Daniel Kellison apparently was on the phone for an hour.
How did that go?
I don't think it went well.
Probably not.
But I got his book. One of the things was, you've got to read my book.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, he's not coming.
Yeah.
And I read his entire book.
Oh, that's...
And it was great. It's one of the best books, celebrity memoirs I've ever read.
Good, then you should plug it anyway. You like
Yeah.
it?
It's called Tales of a Rascal.
Because he was on the Little Rascals.
Of course.
Right.
But I think there's it's drenched in irony as well.
Yeah, sure.
Tales of a Rascal, Robert Blake, What I Did for Love. So it covers everything. He pulls no punches.
One of my favorite roles of all time was him in David Lynch's Lost Highway. Just riveting.
I never saw that.
Amazing.
Yeah. But David Lynch likes me.
That's bizarre, even for Lynch. That's amazing, though. That's really cool.
What?
We should get him on the show.
David Lynch?
That'd be great. We should put him on the old list.
Oh, the list. We have a list. We have a list of guests we're trying to get. And we don't have a list, do we?
Well, I always carry it around with me. You never know when you're going to need the list.
Is that the list?
This is the list. I always carry it around with me.
This is the list. This is guests we're trying to get for the show.
Yeah. It's a long list.
It's really long. And they run the gamut from Al Franken. I mean, he's what is he, a senator?
Yeah, he's a senator. He's somewhat attainable,
Alison Brie.
Don't know her.
Oh, come on. Something you're never supposed to say on a TV show? That you've never heard of someone on the list? What's wrong with you? Andy Dick, I think he'd be good.
Yeah, he'd be great.
Arsenio Hall, and then after that it says, if needed.
Yeah, I never understood. There's about 5 people with parentheses that says if needed, but they're just at random. Makes no sense.
Yeah. Anyways.
Who else on the list, Norm?
Bill Murray. We can take him off the list. No, there's a lot of people.
Any other?
Anne Murray?
Oh, Anne Murray. Who's in? I mean, I know.
Do you know who put Anne Murray on the list, Daniel? Do you even know Anne Murray?
I mean, I've heard the name. I know she was a singer or something. Tell me about Anne Murray.
She's just an old lady. She's like 75. I think she lives in Prince Edward Island or something.
Is that close by or?
No, it's about as far as could be. I don't think there's any 2 points of the North American continent farther than Los Angeles and
Well, I mean,
Spring Hill.
Well, I mean, she's probably available. What do you think she's up to
Oh,
right
she's
now?
available. What's she up to?
Yeah, what do you think she's doing?
walking down the street going, I'm Anne Murray.
So, not a good chance of getting her to fly down here.
No, but anyways, God, this is a huge list. Oh, you know what else there's news in our little life?
Yeah.
That we're going to do that Masters
Right.
live. Explain to the folks what it is, because I did it one time before.
Well, basically, it's people.
Explain to the folks on the
folks at
camera.
home. What you guys can do is tune into the Masters on television there, and you can turn down the volume and listen to Norm and some friends partially commentate the golf and also talk about it. So tune in to the Masters. I believe that's this weekend.
Robert Blake, when he met Steve McQueen, is one of the coolest stories I've ever read. When I read this book, because I'm trying to write a book, they want me to write a book. Anyways, you can tell this guy wrote this. And you can also tell he should have been a writer. And he should have been a poet.
No.
But anyway, he's not here. He's not here. But you know who is here?
No, who's there?
Fred Stoller.
Guy
But
doesn't leave
see,
the
what's
game.
good about this is he's got stories about Steve McQueen. He's got stories about Mickey Rooney, Ava Gardner.
Yeah, one of my favorites of all time, Robert Mitchum.
Robert Mitchum, he's got
What
stories.
an actor.
Fred Stoller also has stories, but nearly half of them are about Dom Irrera.
Well, it says right on the front here, Fred Stoller is always funny. Chris Rock. He's got to
Chris
be good.
Rock?
Yeah.
Fred Stoller is always funny. Well, we'll put that to the test tonight. Oh, thank God for Fred Stoller.
No, seriously. Oh, he's a hilarious guy.
He's a hilarious guy, and he's got a fascinating story. But also, Fred Stoller was telling me he wants to be on podcasts,
He
like as a
actively-
guest.
Yes.
And he actively tries to get on podcasts.
Absolutely, yes, he does.
And is rejected. Except by us.
Yeah, we're used to be the guys getting rejected.
Yeah. But anyways, he's gonna be great. Oh, also, this is I think exciting. You ever hear? There's a big late night shakeup.
Yeah.
What do you know of that? What do you know?
Well, I
of
know that Leno.
How would you encapsulate that? Without talking too much, and make it for someone who doesn't know anything about this late night shakeup.
Well, I believe what's happening. You mean these specifics? I believe
Yeah.
that Fallon is taking over Leno's
Jimmy
spot.
Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon is taking over Leno's spot, and then Leno is moving over to Fox. I believe. No, he's not moving to Fox.
That's speculative.
Okay, so he may or may not be moving to Fox. He's moving somewhere. And
He's retiring.
oh, is that what he's doing?
I thought you could encapsulate it for the folks at
No,
home.
you'd be mistaken.
Well, try again, and I'll just correct.
Okay, so I believe Jimmy Fallon is moving to Jay Leno's spot.
Yes, Jimmy Fallon will be the host of The Tonight Show.
Got it. And is anything happening with
Jay
David
Leno
Letterman?
is retiring,
Jay Leno's retiring.
which will leave a spot at 12:30 on NBC.
Okay.
Jimmy Kimmel has the 11:30 spot on ABC.
ABC.
I don't know what follows him. Nightline, perhaps. They've flip-flop.
Right.
Conan
Poor
O'Brien
Conan.
is over on the Dumont Network or some fucking thing. And who else is there? Chelsea Handler beats them all, and no one seems to care. And is there anybody else?
No.
But anyways, the point is, who? Oh, and David Letterman
and Ferguson.
and Craig Ferguson.
Right.
And so David Letterman is 65. Where you used to have to retire, I think. You know, Walter Cronkite had to retire at 65. Isn't that amazing?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
You didn't know that?
I don't know much.
Yeah, at 65, he had to retire because at that time because that was years ago,
Leno's younger than Letterman, right?
He is 62, and Letterman is 65.
Well,
But the problem is, if Letterman retires, CBS doesn't know what to do because they have to put a Scotchman in there, a Scottish guy,
Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson,
Right.
and they're afraid that people, at 11:30, older people, might not want to listen to a Scottish brogue, and also his sidekick is a skeleton.
It is?
You've never seen the
I've
show?
never seen the show.
Well, it's
unfortunately.
fascinating because he just talks. Like he I don't know if he uses writers, but he's a fantastic You've never seen anything like Craig Ferguson. I love him.
It's just a Scotsman talking to a skeleton.
Well, the skeleton is his sidekick is a corpse, which apparently Les Moonves
CBS
has some problems with. He's saying, why not spend the extra money and get a corporeal person? You know what I mean? Sure, you save money, grave robbing every night, because apparently Craig Ferguson has to change because the stench becomes unbearable in the studio after a few days.
I would imagine.
Cut to Craig Ferguson out at the local cemetery with a shovel.
You think they'd spring
Old-fashioned grave robbing. But anyways, my point is this. I don't know what to watch anymore.
Well,
with all the shuffling. So I look at Entertainment Weekly because every week this publication, this periodical,
they're an authority on the subject.
Of course, it's Entertainment Weekly.
Tell you what to watch.
So they'll tell you what to watch. So anyways, I'm perusing it.
Okay.
So this is what I found out about the word peruse. You think it means scan, but it actually means reading very carefully.
Oh.
So the next time you're talking to one of your intelligent Hollywood friends, and they say peruse, you go, what the fuck are you talking about? Peruse means to study carefully.
So you studied this carefully.
Yes, and what they have is they have the must list. The top 10 things we love this week, things you must see.
Okay.
And anyways, look at this, number 6. Oh, here it is. It's our show. It's our program. Isn't that bizarre?
Fuck.
That shouldn't be in their fucking thing.
My name should not